Mohammed Hijab confidently asserted several times that I said there is nothing wrong with bestiality.
Because you're on the record of saying that bestiality is okay.
That is a complete lie. I have never even talked about bestiality, and just in case you're wondering, I do definitely not think that there is nothing wrong with it. He also asserted that I said there was nothing wrong with incest.
Incest is okay, you said. Incest is okay.
No, I have never said that either.
It's an atheist who's on the record saying that he believes that, for example, incest is morally acceptable.
And that is also a lie. What I said during a conversation with Armin Navabi very long ago.
What's wrong with incest?
It has bad health consequences. Like
for the kids, right? If it's two sisters, they can't have kids.
Yes, right.
Okay. So if two sisters or if two brothers have incest sexual relationship, there's nothing. I can't see anything wrong with it, right?
Yeah, objectively, there is nothing wrong with it. Let's make it.
Where's the harm? Where's the harm? Find the harm. Morality means harm.
That doesn't really mean what Mohammed Hijab and others think it means. That was a part of a discussion about incest from a utilitarian perspective, where Armin and I both agreed that incest is bad because it is harmful and we find it disgusting. But thinking about it, we cannot point out that there is anything objectively wrong if the involved parties cannot make babies and therefore hurt anyone, and there is then no harm in that. What is meant with there is nothing wrong with it is not that it is acceptable or good or not objectionable. What is meant with that is that with that specific case, there is objectively no harm in it. That does not say anything about whether incest is good or bad. I still agree that it could be argued that there is theoretically nothing wrong with two consenting adults who cannot procreate to have such a relationship. But I still find it wrong, and I don't think it should be normalized, because normalizing such an activity can lead to troublesome, destructive outcomes. That is consequentialism. So what I'm saying is incest is wrong because of this. And if this didn't exist, then there would be nothing wrong with incest. What Mohammed Hijab is saying is that incest is wrong because of this, Islam. And if there was no Islam, then there would be nothing wrong with it. We are both saying the same thing, but they are pointing at me and acting like I said something disgusting because they can't think very far. In fact, Ali Dawa texted me a long time ago, and I clarified to him that if there was no harm, then there would be no problem with it, but there is harm, which is why it is wrong. So that's like saying if there was no harm, then wife beating would be okay, but there is harm on the wife and her mental health, on the family, possibly children, and the society, which is why it is wrong. By that, I am not saying that wife beating is okay or could be okay. I am clearly saying that it is impossible for it to be considered okay. I think this is very clear, especially if you are familiar with ethics. It doesn't even matter if you agree with my conclusion or not. What matters is that because of my conclusions, I find incest and wife beating wrong. I also explained this to Mohammed Hijab. I've said to Ali Dawa, he asked me, do you think it's okay for the father and the son to have sex? I said, if there was no harm, then there would be no problem with it. But that is not reality because such intercourse will have harm on the individuals and the society, which is why incest is not okay. But he, of course, completely ignored my explanation and deflected from the topic and changed the topic by asserting that I cannot prove the harm principle. Which is what I clearly said.
Objectively prove the harm principle.
We could go lengthy into the discussion on that.
Right now, you said something. I will
not discuss it. I will not discuss it. I'm correcting the language.
Objectively prove the harm principle.
Which again doesn't matter. What matters is that I find it wrong, as opposed to them arguing that I find it okay. And guess what he did then? He published a meme video which is supposed to prove that I am a liar and I do support incest because I told him I didn't say that, but there is footage of me saying that.
You're on the record of saying that a father can have sex with his son. Incest is okay, you said. Incest is okay.
No, I've never said that either.
So if two sisters or if two brothers have incest sexual relationship, there's nothing. I can't see anything wrong with it, right?
Well, there is actually nothing wrong with it, yeah.
No, I've never said that either.
Actually nothing wrong with it, yeah.
Look, do you believe it is the case or not?
I've said to Ali Dawa, he asked me, do you think it's okay for the father and the son to have sex?
Yeah.
I said, if there was no harm to society.
Yeah, so you allow it.
It would be like, hey, shut up. I said if there evidently was no harm.
Yeah, so there you have it, bro.
There are now several options to pick from. Mohammed Hijab is a liar because he heard my explanation, which is why incest is not okay. But he still published a video out of context which made me look bad. Mohammed Hijab is ignorant of basic ethics because he didn't understand that I can find something bad and disagree with it even if I do not find a case inherently wrong. Mohammed Hijab is stupid and never understood what was being said. I'm sorry, there is simply no other option besides these. So, is Mohammed Hijab a liar, ignorant, or stupid?
Crook! Wallah, you're a crook. You are a crook. You are a crook.